Hello and welcome to Lay or League Cemetery in Ballina in County Mayo. Now we're here to find the Republican plot and specifically the graves of Martin Gaughan and Frank Stagg, who were two hunger strikers for the IRA during in 1976. I believe Frank Stagg definitely died in 1976. Martin Gaughan maybe the same year. They were from the Ballina area. Not sure if they were from Ballina town. Now, when I'm making this video and putting it together, I'll add in more information once I get it and can put it together properly. But for the moment, we'll just have a search for. We might have it here actually. So we're going to begin with Michael Gaughan, who was the first provisional IRA member to die during the conflict known as the Troubles in the north of Ireland. Michael Gaughan was born in County Mayo in 1949 and became involved with the Provisionals during the early years of the Troubles. In 1974, he was imprisoned in England for IRA-related activities. Like many Republican prisoners held in British prisons, he refused to accept criminal status. While imprisoned in Parkhurst Prison, Gaughan went on hunger strike to demand political recognition and better conditions. During his protests, British authorities used force feeding, a brutal and highly controversial practice. Gaughan endured this for over 2 months, but on the 3rd of June 1974, he died after being force-fed, with reports that the procedure caused severe internal injuries. His death caused outrage in Ireland and internationally, and it marked a turning point. Force feeding of hunger strikers was largely abandoned afterwards due to the backlash. His funeral in Mayo drew huge crowds, and he was buried with full Republican honours in Ballina in County Mayo. His grave would later become central to another major controversy, that of the burials of Frank Stagg. Now, Frank Stagg was born in County Mayo in 1941 and he was a member of the Provisional IRA. In 1973, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison in England for involvement with the IRA. While imprisoned, Stagg carried out multiple hunger strikes. His final protest began on December 14, 1975 in Wakefield Prison. His demands were clear: an end to solitary confinement, exemption from prison work and a transfer back to a prison in Ireland. The British government refused. After 62 days on hunger strike, Frank Stagg died on February 12, 1976. But what followed his death became one of the most controversial episodes in modern Irish history. Stagg had expressed a clear wish to be buried alongside his comrade Michael Gaughan in the Republican Plot in Ballina. However, the Irish government intervened. When his body was flown from England, Republicans and supporters gathered at Dublin Airport to receive him. Instead, the plane was secretly diverted to Shannon Airport on government orders. From there, his body was taken under heavy security to County Mayo. In a highly unusual move, he was buried in a separate grave, not in the Republican plot, and the coffin was covered in concrete to prevent it being moved. This decision caused outrage among Republicans and even divisions within Stagg's family. The government aim was to prevent a large politically charged funeral like that of Michael Gaughan. But the story didn't end there. In November 1977, more than a year after his death, a group of Republicans secretly exhumed Stagg's body. Despite the concrete covering, they removed his remains and reburied him in the Republican plot in Ballina. They did this after his brother bought an empty plot that was beside Frank Stagg, so the IRA dug down beside the original grave and removed his body and reburied him here in the Republican plot. He is buried alongside Michael Gaughan, and there's a commemoration here to Jack McNeela, who was another IRA hunger striker from the 1940s, and he is actually interred in a family plot some distance away in County Mayo. If I have an opportunity, I will make a video at his grave, but he is remembered here alongside other IRA Republicans in the plot in Ballina. Now, the story of Tony Darcy takes us back to an earlier phase of the Republican resistance during the years of the Irish state itself. Tony Darcy was born in County Galway in 1909. As a young man, he became involved in the Irish Republican Army at a time when the organisation was operating against the government of the Irish Free State and later the Irish government. By the late 1930s, the IRA had launched the S-Plan, a bombing campaign in Britain, and increased its activities at home. In response, the Irish government introduced strict security measures, including internment without trial, especially during World War II. Darcy was arrested in 1940 and imprisoned in Mountjoy Prison. Like many IRA prisoners of the time, he objected to being detained without charge or recognised in the Irish state. In February 1940, Darcy went on hunger strike to protest his imprisonment. His demands were simple but significant: recognition as a political prisoner and an end to internment. As the days passed, his condition deteriorated severely. Unlike some later hunger strikes and earlier ones, there was no major international campaigns or widespread media coverage due to the World War and a blanket coverage on media. His protests remained largely within Ireland during a time when the government was determined to maintain control and stability. After 52 days on hunger strike, Tony Darcy died on April 16, 1940. His death shocked many and brought renewed attention to the treatment of Republican prisoners within the Irish state. Darcy was buried in his native county Galway. His death stands as an important reminder that hunger strikes in Ireland were not only directed against British rule, but also used in protest against the Irish government itself. And this is the Republican Plot in County Galway.